Hi, my name is Chris Nee, and I will be debating on the side of putting nutrition labels on foods, menus, packaging will have no effect on individuals' food choices and is not the answer to the obesity epidemic. For this debate, I decided to focus strictly on packaged goods, and to start off, I wanted to provide some background information on food labeling. In 1990, the Nutrition Labeling and Education Act was passed. This act standardized the ingredient panel, serving sizes, and allowed terms such as low, good source of, reduced, and so on. These terms were given specific values to ensure fraudulent claims could not be made. The new age here that we're experiencing of food labeling began at about the same time our obesity crisis started its most dramatic climb. In 1990, the percent of Americans suffering from obesity, as we all know, was between 10 and 15% according to the BRFSS. We also know how the story has gone in the US since that time. Obesity rates have made a steady climb to about 37% today. The first question I wanted to answer with this debate was how many people actually read nutrition labels? And I came across a systematic review study released in March 2010 by Campos, Doxey, and Hammond. They compiled over 120 studies related to label use, 65 of which reported how often consumers use nutrition labels on the pre-packaged foods. What they found was that 75% of the US consumers use nutrition labels. So if 3 out of 4 American consumers are using these labels, what are they looking at specifically? Was another question that I had. In 2010, Graham and Jeffrey headed a study at the University of Minnesota looking at what people are actually looking at during food purchase. This was done using an eye tracking device, and what this device does is it provides a precise measurement of the time spent viewing specific label components. The people in the study were shown 64 different foods on the computer and were told to select either would buy, wouldn't buy, or not applicable. The screen the participants saw showed nutrition facts, picture of the food, the ingredient price, and product description. There's an example at the end of the attached eye tracking study if you'd like to see exactly what the subjects saw. The average time that they spent viewing that nutrition label part was actually 1,081 milliseconds. For the ingredients, it was 1,069 milliseconds, and the participants spent over 2,000 milliseconds on the food description and just under 1,000 milliseconds on the picture, which was pretty funny to me. I mean, yes, people on average are looking at the picture for the same amount of time that they're looking at the nutritional information. One of the flaws that I found with that study was everything was on the one screen. So if consumers are barely looking at the nutritional information and ingredients in that format, then what about when the information is in its actual location? How many Americans are taking time to take the box off the shelf, look at that little side part that we all see, and actually look at the back to really go over that nutrition panel? My next question was, do people in general understand the labels? There seems to be a lot of debate when it comes to this part. According to Campos et al., some studies have shown that younger individuals and higher income individuals had a better understanding of how to read nutritional information, while other studies showed consumers across all demographics reported difficulty with calculations related to percent daily values and serving sizes, things like that. And looking at all this information, my final question that I wanted to try to figure out was, who are the people using the labels to make a lot of these purchases? And again, according to Campos, women, higher income individuals, individuals with healthy eating habits were more likely to use those nutrition labels. They also found people that were grocery shopping and it spent a good amount of time grocery shopping. They spent more time in general They put an emphasis on nutritional content. These were the people that used the labels with greater frequency. They also found that those who exercised and did not smoke had high nutrition label usage. I know you're all probably gonna have to pick yourself up off the floor. You're amazed at this, revolutionary information, but that's what we were getting from most of those studies. Okay, so we know that Americans are using labels, and the ones that are using them are usually living a pretty healthy lifestyle. So last thing here is that as far as the studies go and the information that I found, it seems that there are some major flaws with the way products are labeled in the US. We seem to like to look at food descriptions and pictures on the front of the box. Most people obviously, they will scroll through these different products and just look at the front cover. So when looking at this, I found another interesting study. In 2010, Gruner et al. Published a study on nutrition labels in the UK. During the in-store observation, they found that 66% of the respondents looked at the front of the packaging in detail. Now, this is probably due to the fact that their use of front package labeling, and they used this front package labeling. It uses guidelines, daily amount labels. What it does is it actually uses traffic light labels as well, which is red, yellow, and green, and in general, just basically the red would be a key for something that's high in fat, high in sugar, yellow, medium, and green with low for some of those main energy nutrients. So as far as closing this argument, in my feeling, I would certainly say that nutrition labeling, it is important. There's no doubt, and everyone should have information on what is in the food that they're eating, and it should be detailed, and it should obviously be something that helps that person out making their purchase choice. As far as it being a major impact on the obesity epidemic, I would say the labeling has little to no effect. As we've already seen, I've said it a couple times now, is that the people that are using the labeling are people who are already healthy that have a concern for that. So in closing here, the research has proven that those that have that nutritional information are concerned with their health already. So if our topic is the obese population, will these extra nutrition labels, will they actually help a person make the correct decision? And in my opinion, I would have to say that it will not. Thanks.